Hi and welcome to the launch of a brand new upgraded ruler for Constantine quilts. I have reworked and upgraded my 90-degree rulers. This one has 6-inch arms on it, but it also has 1/4-inch spacing with the numbers very accurately etched onto here. We also have different heights of divisions to help guide you very quickly whilst you're stitching to make sure that you are keeping to the same measurements. This ruler can be used for a multiple range of design ideas, and we'll go through a few now for you just to see how you could utilize this in your stash. I love using this ruler if I wanted to do piano keys in the borders. It helps me keep everything straight. So depending on the height of your border, let's say this is one here. I'm just using some tracing paper to mimic that. I'm also using a drawing wheel which will mimic the diameter of your quilting machine ruler foot so that you can see how this can work. But quite simply, because we have 1/4-inch lines, guidelines on this ruler to help you with your spacing, but you can use obviously one arm to move forward in that direction, but you keep the 90-degree to keep yourself running straight. So I'm starting on the outside of the quilt top, and I can use either the edge of the ruler, and I can use those lines to keep everything perfectly parallel. Now I would actually use the first etched line along my seam line, and I can move it over 1/4 inch, line up the edge of my ruler. Help if I start it off correct, and then I can move this over and I can pick which one I want. So if I want 1/4 inch that way, you can do 1/4 inch each time if you wanted to, or I could select another division to then get exact lines and go over 1/4 inch, but I can keep my eye on exactly how far I want to travel and keep everything running at the correct 90-degree angle to the seam line. So that's just a quick example of using this ruler to keep everything running straight in both directions. So if you don't have another ruler with some great etched lines on them to help guide you very quickly to do piano keys, then that is one great way of using this one. Now the next etched line that we have marked on here is I do have the 45-degree line along here. So if you are wanting to actually put different lines across here, so let's say we're going to continue on with this border now, and I wanted to have a 45-degree line across here, I'm going to line up that etched line along the seam line, and I can run this all the way down, and then I can move it along, and I've still got guidelines here to get my lines all lined up. And here we go. So we can then change it to a different measurement. So I'll go on to the 3rd line. And travel along. I did it to the 1/4 inch line, so I've got 1/2 inch spacing. And I'll go to my 3rd line. Keeping it continuing. So there you can do your easy spacing and keeping everything beautiful on the 45-degree. And of course you can turn around and you can come back the other way as well if you wanted to keep everything lined up. So let's see if we wanted to start here and using that guideline to keep it at the correct angle. Looks like I need to go to there. Then you can continue and build your straight line design out. But it's a great way with the extra 45-degree line to be able to get that perfect angle every time and equally spaced. Okay, the next one I would like to demonstrate is you can create easy chevrons in a border as well. Now I've got this marked into equal divisions, so that will help me to get these. I'm going to line up my 45-degree line on one of those, and quite simply we can go along and we're going to go up to that point and we can come back the other side, and then you can choose which equal division you want to use, but I can then come down to, say, the next line, and you would travel in the ditch. So I've gone to 1, 2, the third one there. And then we're going to come down the other side. And then I'm going to move this down again. Travel in the ditch. And we can come up to here. In actual fact, it's just as easy to come down this way to that 1/4 inch line, because then you're going to get to there and come straight back down. Then you can travel down, pick one of them, be the 1/4 inch line. We can line up our lines here, and then we can travel in the ditch all the way over to this side. Right, so once we get to there, in the ditch to go to the 1/4 inch line, as such, and this time around I'm actually going to go to the inside in the ditch, because it actually will work out a lot easier to then automatically stop without going around that edge. Move it back down, you're going in the ditch, much easier to control when you have a spot to stop and keep you absolutely accurate to go along there. You could turn around and do it the other side as well, or put in an alternative design in this area. Okay, another great design on a 9-patch block, and this is just using straight lines, but this ruler, because of all the guidelines on there, can certainly help you to stitch this out a lot quicker and with a little bit more creativity. So how about we use straight away, put the edge of the ruler onto the seam line, and we can stitch a 1/4 inch echo line quite quickly and easy. Move this down, and we can choose the second line in instead of the edge of the ruler, and we're going to get a 1/2 inch echo. I'm going to do it one more time, but with a 1/4 inch echo. And we can go for the next one is another 1/2 inch echo. And one more 1/4 inch. And you can again use all your etch lines to make sure you can stay everything is nice and lined up. Now if you repeat this on all 4 corners, and I can go ahead and do that. And that creates a frame. But then what if you chose to I'm just centering that, going from the corner down to here, and we can then do something similar to create the chevron in these blocks. And that is such a cool geometric result. Using this one, you can leave it as is. You could fill in the center and the outside of here with any sort of design, a background fill, and really, really make that pop. Straight lines always give some fantastic results. You can create those secondary designs just by giving some framework to a block. So what about if you wanted to do squares? So use the ruler. I'm just going to pause there and rotate it to help make sure that I get to the right measurements. Come along, come up here, and you can rotate again, lining up your ruler with your foot. And to be really sure that you can come around and line this up again to finish off. So if you're starting it on the side, you'll get that right. Then you can move in and you're going to echo and create another square. So if we wanted to start up here, go to there, and I'm using the registration line, edge lines on the ruler so that I can get this 1/2 inch echo. Back to there. Then you would simply, this is almost like a Judy Madsen style, and let's just fill in. And we get the effect. And if you continue that and repeated it again in this block, where we start along one side, and we're going to echo, rotate, because you're going to allow that right angled ruler to get that perfectly echoed. And as you build that up, it looks absolutely beautiful in a simply pieced quilt.